Hi everyone, welcome back to Rabbi's Reflection. I'm glad that you're joining with me today. We'll be continuing in our study of My Grandfather's Blessings by Dr. Naomi Remen, and today reading the story Belonging. Stay with us as we read through the story and then offer some reflections. Basically, service is about taking life personally, letting the lives that touch yours touch you. These days, many people seem to think that being touched is a form of weakness, even if the life that touches you is your own. If you are under 30, the thing to be is cool. Been there, done that. But why would anyone want to be cool? Should I live to be very old, I expect that I will not remember the times when I was cool, but will be warmed only by the times when I cared passionately, risked everything to make a difference, and knew who I was. Not only have we disconnected from life, but many of us have disconnected from each other as well. Such qualities as self-reliance, self-determination, and self-sufficiency are so deeply admired among us that needing someone is often seen as a personal failing. 100 years after the end of the frontier, we still inhabit its culture. Self-sufficiency was critically important when you lived 100 hostile miles away from your nearest neighbor. But we live in this way still, 3,000 to a city block. Needing others has come to require an act of courage. Is it surprising that so many people are secretly lonely and afraid to grow old? Perhaps it is this striving for excessive independence that is a weakness that makes many of us so vulnerable to isolation, cynicism, and depression. It is doubtful that independence and individualism will enable us to live in the deepest and most fulfilling way. In order to live well, we may need to know and trust one another again, to touch and be touched by those around us. Service is the way that this world can heal. True service is not a relationship between an expert and a problem. It is far more genuine than that. It is a relationship between people who bring the full resources of their combined humanity to the table and share them generously. Service goes beyond expertise. Service is another way of life. Many times, when we help, we do not really serve. Those who help see life differently from those who serve, and may affect life differently as well. It is hard not to see the person you are helping as someone weaker than yourself, someone more needy. When we help, we become aware of our strength because we are using it. Others become aware of our strength as well, and may feel diminished by it. But we do not serve with our strength. We serve with ourselves. We draw from all our experiences. Over the years, I have discovered that everything I know serves, and everything I am serves. I have served people impeccably with parts of myself that embarrass me, parts of which I am ashamed. The wholeness in me serves the wholeness in others, and the wholeness in life. The wholeness in you is as worthy as the wholeness in me. Service is a relationship between equals. As I serve, I become aware of my wholeness and more accepting of it. In using it to serve, I may come to see and understand its power. Many times my limitations have become the source of my compassion. My wounds have made me gentle with the wounds of other people, and able to trust the mysterious process by which we can heal. My loneliness has made me able to recognize the loneliness in others, to respect that place where everyone is alone, and meet others in the dark. Most humbling of all, I have found that sometimes the thing that serves best is not all my hard-earned medical knowledge, but something about life I may have learned from my Russian grandmother or from a child. A helping relationship may incur a sense of debt, but service, like healing, is mutual. Service is free from debt. The wholeness in me is as strengthened as the wholeness in you. Everyone involved is fortunate to have had the chance to participate. In helping, we may find a sense of satisfaction. In serving, we have an experience of gratitude. Serving is also different from fixing. One of the pioneers of the human potential movement, Abraham Maslow, said, "If all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail." Seeing yourself as a fixer may cause you to see brokenness everywhere, to sit in judgment on life itself. When we fix others, we may not see their hidden wholeness or trust the integrity of the life in them. Fixers trust their own expertise. When we serve, we see the unborn wholeness in others. We collaborate with it and strengthen it. Others may then be able to see their wholeness for themselves for the first time. Perhaps fixing is only a way to relate to things. Relating to another human being in this way is to deny and diminish in some profound and subtle way the power of the life in them and its mystery. Over 47 years of illness, I have been helped and fixed by a great number of people. I am grateful to them all, but all that helping and fixing left me wounded in some important and fundamental ways. Only service heals. All who serve life. What we serve is something worthy of our attention, of the commitment of our time and our lives. Service is not about fixing life, outwitting life, manipulating life, controlling life, or struggling to gain mastery over life. When we serve, we discover that life is holy. Service is closer to generosity than it is to duty. It connects us to one another and to life itself. When we experience our connectedness, serving others becomes the natural and joyful thing to do. Over the long run, fixing and helping are draining, but service is renewing. When you serve, your work itself will sustain you, renew you, and bless you, often over many years. The best definition of service I have come across is a single word: belonging. Service is the final healing of isolation and loneliness. It is the lived experience of belonging. I hope you stayed with us through this story. It was a little bit longer than usual, and I felt actually that Dr. Remen was a little bit more wordy than usual, but I think it was really, really worth it. I think she is offering us a really important distinction in this story between acts of service and acts of helping. Service versus helping. I think many of us, when we think about the good that we do in this world, whether that's professionally or personally, we think about it and frame it with the words of helping, that you're helping someone. But I think what Dr. Remen is trying to point out here, or to bring to our attention, is a different word that has a different valence to it, a different understanding, and that is one of service. There's something really beautiful that she says at some point in this reflection about using our expertise. That service, that help is about expertise, but that service is about a relationship, or making sure that we can connect to the other. You see, when we enter into a relationship with someone and engage them with our own expertise, we look down upon them. We see that other person as vulnerable, that needs our help. And so we are helping them, but helping them from a place of power, a place of I'm better than you, and that's why I'm helping you. As opposed to acts of service, where the idea is to actually bring your own vulnerability, and in that connect to the other person, to bring their wholeness becomes then your wholeness. I think that she really is saying something, and really is onto something when she talked about our culture's reliance on being independent, and that this sense of independence that I know best and that I am going to be able to do what's best for me really brings us to disconnection. And that might have been helpful in the past in terms of our desire to go ahead on the frontier and to keep on fighting or conquering. But it doesn't help us now when we live so closely together and we actually really need each other's help. There's a courage and a vulnerability that happens when we actually open ourselves up to be in relationship with someone else, to act in a way that's of service. And she says at the end also that service is different than fixing. Right? She uses this really beautiful quote from Abraham Maslow, who says, "If all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail." Everything then becomes a problem that you can solve, and only you, because you have the hammer, you can solve it because all you see is a nail. And I think that's something really telling in terms of the way that we relate to other people. Maybe someone else has something to give to me. Maybe there's a way that I can benefit and I can gain in this relationship when I act in a way that embodies a sense of service and not necessarily being a helper or a fixer. Service dignifies the work that we do. It elevates it. It makes it holy. And that, I think, is something important, because I think when we're involved in doing good things, I was going to say in helping, but that's the wrong word here. In doing good things, we can feel a sense of fatigue, burnout, a sense of, gosh, I don't really want to do this anymore, or does the other person, does it really even matter? But when you're engaged in it and think about it in terms of service, there's a dignity to it, and that elevates it and can help you continue to act in ways of service. So I'm glad that you joined me with me today. I hope it was something worthwhile to reflect on, and I will see you soon.